Kenya. Thank you, Moi.
At a rally in rural Kenya, the party faithful sing the praises of President Daniel Arap Moi.
Long live President Moi! Long live Baba Taifa! Long live Kenya!
But their chorus is not echoed on the streets of Nairobi, where thousands of beggars and street children try to eke out a meagre living. In the past decade, Kenya, once the model for independent Africa, has undergone rapid economic decline. It has one of the fastest growing populations in the world, but land is scarce and the average wage just $25 a month. Those who do have money live in constant fear of violent crime. For Kenya's political elite, patronage and corruption have always provided rich pickings. Launching a new political party, Dr. Richard Leakey, renowned for his research into the origins of mankind and his work in conservation, has been characteristically blunt in his criticisms of the Kenya government.
I think corruption is enormously widespread in Kenya. It's not only at the top, and I think everybody knows that we've had some enormous scandals and misuse of public funds and misuse of public land. But it goes right the way through the system, and if you want to get a form filled in, or you want to apply for a license, if you want to get through a roadblock, if you want to feed prisoners in remand home, you have to pay bribes to get what you want. It has become the order of the day, and it is destroying this country, and it's destroying the whole morale of the country and society.
President Moi has responded to the threat posed by the new political movement with personal attacks on Dr. Leakey.
Leakey, racist. He's racist and a tribalist. These members of the opposition are tribalists. Who can deny that?
Last year, Leakey, despite a hugely successful campaign to save the East African elephant, was forced to resign his post as head of the Kenya Wildlife Service after senior government ministers accused him of arrogance and racism. For years, Leakey, one of the few individuals bold enough to criticize official corruption in Kenya, had been a painful thorn in the side of government.
A form of madness.
Moi's cronies were only too glad to see the back of him, but now it appears that the celebrations were premature. Leakey may prove to be far more dangerous as an open political opponent than he ever was as head of the Wildlife Service. And this time the accusations of racism are unlikely to stick. Leakey has surrounded himself with prominent black opposition leaders. They say it is Moi who is racist.
Just like he's promoted tribalism, he's now promoting racialism by sort of branding a Kenyan as a racist, as a white man. I mean, it's dangerous. It doesn't do any good to the investor confidence that one is trying to create for this nation. Because if the economy is going to come out of the doldrums, it's going to recover. We need investments by nationals, by multinationals. And this sort of talk is no way of restoring investor confidence.
And it is the day-to-day economic hardships which are the chief concern of most ordinary Kenyans.
Life every day is quite difficult because we are buying things in a high price, no money, but we are working, no good salary.
With high unemployment in Kenya, Charles Adero is lucky. He has a job as a gardener for an expatriate family, but he has a wife and a 6-month-old daughter, and he earns just $60 a month. With the state education system collapsing, he worries whether he will ever be able to afford to educate his child. Like many Kenyans, Charles is keen to see political change.
The government who are ruling the Kenya, they are just, they want to become rich. They are not after ruling the people.
Moi's attacks on Leakey are just the latest signs of a heavy-handed government crackdown on its critics. In the past few months, scores of opposition leaders, human rights lawyers and journalists have been harassed, arrested and jailed.
With an environment that at present cannot allow free and fair elections, and therefore you cannot be able to change the present government through the ballot box. If that continues with the corruption that there is, with the destruction of the economy, with the abject poverty in which the majority of Kenyans are involved, without doubt, in the end, this country will blow up just like Rwanda or Uganda or any of the other African countries.
The launch of the new party has been timed to try to force Moi to recognise it before a meeting of aid donors in Paris next month. But in a country with a history of political assassinations, some have expressed fears for Liki's safety.
I think political assassination is the wrong way to solve a problem. I think dialogue is the right way to solve a problem. I don't expect to be killed, but it's a possibility, and I hope that if there are people thinking about it, they will think carefully about the consequences of such an action in terms of Kenya's reputation and society generally.
At the last election, the opposition split into myriad factions, depriving Kenyans of the opportunity to get rid of Moi, despite more than a decade of dictatorial rule. But if the new political movement is allowed to survive, it could unite the opposition and give Kenyans the chance of a fresh start.